little breakfast mukbang because I kind of want to talk about some stuff while I eat. So I was thinking about this. There's a video that I've been planning on making for a really long time. I've been planning on talking about fat phobia within Hollywood. And quite frankly, it's a really big conversation. Don't come after me. I usually don't have single-use bottles. I just do this morning because I need to actually get my button gear and go get one of my water jugs out of my car. And I have to go get more today because I'm down to my last one. But anyway, talking about fat phobia within Hollywood. And what really got me wanting to talk about it again was, so my mom and I are watching One Tree Hill. My mom is watching it for the first time, and I'm watching it not for the first time. I can't even tell you how many times I've actually rewatched it. This is the third time I've gone through the rest of it myself, since we started watching it more than a year ago. Probably maybe even close to 2 years ago now. Because we only watch like 2, maybe 3 episodes a week. So it's taking a minute to watch. I think if I remember correctly, I actually did the calculations when we started it based on how many episodes and how many episodes we usually watch a night or watch a week, because we watch them just on Friday night. Sometimes we'll watch it some other random time of the week, but we're also watching Victorious on Paramount Plus. So there's also that. So anytime we watch like a random time now, it's usually Victorious. So like Thursday, my dad had a meeting. So my mom and I watched a couple episodes of Victorious instead of an episode or 2 of One Tree Hill. The big reason I wanted to talk about this, and I mean, this is not the video in which I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to go into further depth with it, with a whole bunch of other examples and why it's fat phobic. Bearing in mind the time these things aired, obviously, because body positivity, body neutrality, and body acceptance are not new movements, but they are certainly new within the like mainstream. And I'm definitely somebody who feels like you can't really judge something on today's standards necessarily. However, it's still really good to talk about, and it's still really good to put in the limelight. And hopefully actors and producers with One Tree Hill, I doubt it. With even like the Jan Schneider stuff I'm gonna end up talking about, I doubt it. Because they're garbage humans. Mark Schwann is a garbage human. Dan Schneider is a garbage human. I can fully accept that and still enjoy their shows. Sometimes what ends up happening when I'm watching One Tree Hill with my mom, I said this is the 3rd time it's happened, is we'll get to a storyline that I really like. So I can't remember what it was in season 4. And then there was another one in season 6, and now another one in season, what season are we in? 7. Where I'm like, I really like this storyline and I don't want to wait like for mom to watch it with me. So I will then watch that storyline, which leads to me rewatching the rest of it by myself. And I'm already in season 9. I watched season 8 very quickly. Oh, also, I was gonna have a convention video. I ended up not filming anything. So if you guys still want to see what I did film from the convention, let me know in the comments and I will certainly post something. Season 9 is really triggering for me. I like season 9, don't get me wrong. It's altruistic, it's fun. Like, is it stupid? 100%. Is the last season the most ridiculous season of One Tree Hill? 100%, absolutely. But there's a spider up my ceiling. What's triggering about it is Mouth's storyline. If you don't want to know anything about the end of One Tree Hill, or like even, I mean, it's not even like it's a massive spoiler. If you want absolutely no spoilers of any kind, skip to this timestamp when I stop talking about it. But what's really triggering about season 9 is Mouth's story. And the reason for that is because they put Lee Norris in a fat suit, which is already bad enough. Like, I hate when thin actors are put into fat suits. Like, it's one of my issues with Friends, and I will talk about Friends in this video too, because a lot of my issues are the same between the two as far as like what's triggering and what's extremely fat phobic. I really hope the Drama Queens podcast talks about this at some point when they get to season 9, because I want to believe those girls are no longer fat phobic idiots. And if they are, I mean, that's not saying they're bad people, but just that they are still very misguided and need to educate themselves on fat bodies. Not all fat bodies are unhealthy, just like all thin bodies are not healthy. And besides, nobody owes you health. Assuming everybody can be healthy is very ableist. There's a lot of facets to health. Anyway, it's a whole different conversation to have about fat phobia, but about about fat phobia being ableist, being racist, all that kind of stuff, right? There's a whole conversation that we can have regarding that. What was so disgusting was the fact that Lee Norris's fat suit wasn't even much bigger than he naturally is. So like you could tell it was a fat suit because he was a little bit bigger than he normally is, but not by much. And not that there's anything wrong with any size body. Every body is beautiful and every body is perfect. What's really upsetting is the fact that they make it such a huge storyline that he's gained so much weight and that he's so unhealthy, you know, all this stuff, that he's just so ridiculously unhealthy and everybody's disgusted by him. Like, that's the big piece, is everybody's disgusted by him. And it's this whole thing. And he's embarrassed, he's fat shamed. It's just bad. So season 9 is really hard for me to watch. It's only a half season, so it's not a big deal. But season 9 is so difficult for me to watch because of Mouth's story. Everything else is great. Like, I love every other story, even though it's like just way the fuck out there. It's still like, I mean, it's a very high concept last season. In my opinion, done very, very well. All the actors were able to get there emotionally. And I loved it. It was so good. Now that I'm in season 9 again, it's really just ignited this fire in me again to really focus on that video. So I think I might actually put that video together today. See if I can watch some of the fat phobic stuff that I haven't seen, because that's part of it. There are things that are called fat phobic that I have not seen, and I feel like it's really important for me to see them if I'm going to talk about them. So things like Pitch Perfect. I've not seen Pitch Perfect. I might sit down and watch that today. Insatiable. That might be extremely triggering considering the fact that I used to have an eating disorder. That mentality never goes away. You always have it. I actually just dealt with it again the week after Easter. I didn't feel hungry for a very long time, for about a week. I still forced myself to eat, so at least I was eating. I don't actively deal with eating disorders anymore. That's how I'll put it. But that might be very, very triggering for somebody who has had an eating disorder. But I can usually handle my triggers pretty okay these days because I'm in therapy. Yeah, I really want to talk about that. I might even film that like next week. But that's just it. Like, when it comes to my very produced content, I want to be passionate about what I'm talking about now. I don't want to just throw a video out just because I need to get a video out on Thursday. I really enjoy doing my cooking videos. And I really enjoy doing mukbangs and my wine story times. It's just, you know, the problem with story times is I'm not that, like, I don't make anything up. Like, everything I say is true. So eventually I ran out of stories. And I don't actively seek out, like, things to traumatize me. I mean, to be fair, there are 3 stories I've never told. One I'll probably never tell on the internet. One I don't feel like is appropriate for me to tell on the internet, and one that I'm building the courage to tell. But I also know it's gonna burn some bridges. Theoretically, is probably fine. At the end of the day, it's my story to tell. And if the people who are involved with that story, who are still in my life to an extent, have a problem with me telling that story, that's their problem, not mine. But as you guys know, I mean, I've alluded to an abuser in my life. And that person died last June. And I finally feel like I'm at a place where I emotionally could handle telling that story about who that person is or was and why I cut them out of my life. I mean, if you've been watching my videos long enough, you might be able to figure out who it was, because I have talked about this person, but never in like a, oh, this is my story of how this person was abusive. It was always just, I don't have a good relationship with this person. And I didn't. I haven't had a good relationship with this person for many years. I'm getting brave enough to tell that story. And the only reason I never did was because I do still have relationships with some people who still had an active relationship with this person. I enjoy having those people in my life, even if they are or were like in a relationship with my abuser. Didn't mean I had to see my abuser, and they knew not to talk about that person with me. And my fear, of course, is that if I talked about it publicly, they'd be like, why embarrass everybody like that? And then turn on me. Which, get out of here. Which I fully understand that, like, they're clearly not people that should be in my life if they would turn on me for telling my story and for owning my trauma. But when you're in a place where very few people in your real life actually care about you, or if you feel like actually care about you. It's really hard to be okay with letting go of people that you feel close to. And I mean, these are family members too. And not that I'm a believer in blood is thicker than water. I'm not. If anything has taught me anything, this person has taught me that blood is not thicker than water. I've just never been brave enough to do it. But I'm building that up because I want to tell my story. Because if it can help anybody walk away from toxic family relationships and be okay with people in your life being like, oh, but that's your redacted family member connection here. Like, you should love that person. It's your only one left. Not emotionally. Those are videos I am planning. That's the thing, is I want to be passionate about what I'm talking about. When I move upstairs, I have all these ideas planned for moving upstairs and making videos, like DIY projects, you know, updates on what it looks like. I mean, it all has to happen very quickly because my parents aren't going to be living in a war zone. When we do the switch, we want it to be fast. And I thought it was going to be like springtime. It's probably going to be more like somewhere in summer. Because my thought was they were going to move a bunch of stuff into their storage unit that they have up by their property on Lake Superior. Turns out, that's not the plan. The plan was to build their house and then move stuff into their house and then move what they want to keep here down here. And so it's actually going to end up being a little bit later than I anticipated, but it's still going to be like before the snow starts flying next winter or fall, probably. We always get snow sometimes as early as September, but usually October down here. I'm doing a documentary about them building their house, and I'm going to be doing little videos here and there of redoing the upstairs and what's all gonna, and like a really cool before and after reveal kind of video, because I'm not going to show everything until it's all done. And I'm going to talk about all the different pieces that I'm getting and why they're going to be important and why they're exciting. Because every single piece that I'm looking at right now, like, because I'm getting new furniture. So like I'll keep this couch, but it's going to go in the sunroom upstairs. So it doesn't exist yet. We're finishing off our 3-season porch my 3-season porch into a 4-season porch, but it's essentially going to be a sunroom. And this will go in there. And this will essentially just be for the animals to lay on and relax on and whatnot. But so I'm getting a whole new living room set. And I am so excited about it because it actually like has a meaning behind it, like why I'm excited about it. And I'm going to buy a whole bunch of like things from like art, essentially, from small businesses. And I am going through Etsy, and I know Etsy is kind of a thing right now, but it's the easiest like hub essentially for me to buy from small businesses right now. So at the end of the day, like, it just makes best sense. And I will be doing a small business haul regarding it. But basically what I'm doing is I'm thinking of all the things that I love, like all the different television shows that I love and The Sims and things like that have brought me so much joy in my life, and buying really cute little art things that will be just randomly throughout the house and be like conversational starters. So like, just to give one of them away, because you're not going to see what it looks like at all until it gets here, but I'm getting a cow plant painting. So if you played The Sims, you know what that is. But I'm getting a cow plant painting, and it'll be just so much fun to have somebody who knows nothing about The Sims see it and go, what's that? And I'll be able to explain to them not only what the cow plant is and why it's the best thing in The Sims, but also it will be fun to like talk about my love for The Sims and the fact that I've been playing The Sims since it first came out in 2000, and I've been playing it for literally 22 years and stuff. And I don't know, it's just gonna be so much fun to, you know, have those things and have things that mean something to me. And not that the things I own right now don't mean anything to me, they do. Because obviously I've got my Disney wall, and I have, you know, these cute little, I'm sure you've seen them, the house is not home without a dog, and my kids have paws, little wood pieces that I have that are hanging up, and all of the geeky things I do have, which most of those will go in the creative room, which is going to be what right now is the library / my parents' workshop / the dining room. It's a lot of things. But it's gonna be my creative room. And basically going in there means I'm going to be creative. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to do something creative. I'm going to write, I'm going to make a video, I'm going to edit, I'm going to play The Sims, which is also creative. But I'm not going to go in there and just watch TV. I'm not going to go in there and just sit and do nothing. I'm not going to bring my work computer in there and work in there. It's all going to be very specifically, this is my creative space, and the only thing that I can do in here is be creative. And I'm hoping having a designated place for my creative stuff might actually also help with my current issues of like feeling uninspired, especially with YouTube. I mean, I'm certainly inspired by books because I have like 20 book ideas. 2 of which I've completed writing first drafts for, one of which I'm still working on a first draft, but I am so excited to like really focus on my creative stuff and just be there and be happy and all that stuff. But anyway, I'm done eating bright breakfast and it has already been like 20 some odd minutes since I started. I'm gonna have to cut this down as best I can, but I'm gonna go ahead and start my day. So you're gonna go back to a montage-y kind of thing. So enjoy that. And today's plan is I do want to write. I do want to read. I'm currently reading the worst book ever. It's called Losing It. It's awful and I hate it. But I'm a completionist, so I'm gonna finish it. But it's not easy. The writing is meh. The storyline is stupid. The main character is super unlikable. The main love interest that I'm understanding is the main love interest so far, though she kissed somebody else in the book, so maybe that's gonna be her love interest. I have no freaking idea. But either way, the main love interest that they're pushing so far is has absolutely no personality. They spend literally no time together. It's called Losing It because the main character is a virgin, which I already hate that terminology at the beginning of the book because virginity is a social construct that was created to oppress women, mostly just to make them more worthy when men were selling their daughters to other men, because women that had never had sex essentially were worth more dowry than women who had. So that's how purity culture came to be. It is not even religious in any shape of the imagination. It's literally men selling women for property and livestock. So I already hate the term virginity. And I hate purity culture. I was raised in it and I hate it. So I already hate how many times the word virgin has been used, or the concept of virginity, or like her being like, I want to lose my virginity so bad. Like, it's not, anyway. I mean, I've been there. I've been in that mindset before, so I get it. But there's also a lot of slut shaming in that book and a lot of really outdated language, even though it came out in 2012. So like, it's 10 years old, sure. But like, even in 2012, we were saying sitting crisscross or crossed legs instead of a more offensive term. I don't. And not only that, but this girl is like a senior in college and she only has $34,000 in student loans, and they've never established that she has any kind of scholarships or grants. And I'm like, what college are you going to? And then also like, she's going to graduate. They're insinuating that she's going to graduate with not only her bachelor's degree, but also an actor's equity card. And I'm like, that's not how unions work. Anyway, I don't know. It's a bad book. It's really bad, and it's not gonna stay in my collection. It'll probably go in the next big like purge at the beginning of next year. Mother wants to say hi, apparently. I know you're out of food. We gotta feed you now. It's the animal's turn to get fed. Yes, it is the animal's turn to get fed. Oh, we're being cranky about being cuddly. Oh. Oh. You were the one being cuddly. Anyway. Now she hates me. Now she won't let me touch her. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, so I'm gonna read some of that today because I did not get my full 30 pages yesterday because I want to do 30 pages a day because then I'll finish that in like less than a week if I do 30 pages a day. And so then I can move on to a better book. Yeah. I also need to contact the person that's doing the intro and outro music for our podcast. For my podcast I'm doing with Dylan and Remy. Well, some of you may not know who Remy is. If I post the convention stuff, you will know who Remy is there, but Remy is a friend of mine that I've known through conventions for a very long time. They are spouses with a friend of mine. If you remember my GeekCon story, the old con chair that from the first story, from when he was dating this former friend of mine, and after he broke up with her, he started dating Remy. And they've been together for a very long time now. And so when I went back to GeekCon is how I met Remy. And Remy is one of the things, Remy, Adam, and then another guy named AJ are people that I've kept from GeekCon for the most part. I mean, there are a couple of others that I've kept randomly, but I got to see all three of them last weekend and I was so happy about it. And AJ and I talked about the whole GeekCon thing, and Remy and I talked about the whole GeekCon thing, and it felt good to actually talk about it with people again. But anyway, it felt very healing. Last weekend in general was just very healing. Anyway, so I want to write, I want to read, and I want to play The Sims a little bit because I have not played The Sims in a really long time. And then tomorrow I'll edit this and put it up for Thursday. But anyway, seriously, it's been almost 30 minutes now. I need to get my rear in gear and do things. I am also filming a TikTok that'll be posted actually today. So whenever I do a vlog like this, chances are good I'll also be vlogging my day on TikTok. So if you follow me on TikTok, you're gonna see this day well before you see this video. But anyway, that's where I'm at. I also I think that's today. I think I'm getting lunch. I'm doing a live mukbang today. So great. Okay, moving on. So I have a little bit over an hour before I have to make lunch. I've been just kind of messing around all morning, doing nothing creative, doing nothing productive, but that's okay. We're gonna sit down on the couch. I'm gonna read for a little bit. Ooh. And then maybe read like a little tiny bit, and then probably write and watch an episode or two of One Tree Hill or something. And then I'm gonna get ready for my live stream. Well, if it's only a little over an hour, then one episode of One Tree Hill. And then get ready for my live stream where I have to obviously brush out my hair because I don't brush my hair till it's dry, and I'm not gonna put makeup on. I have to make my lunch. So he's chewing on the bottle now that I had for breakfast. But yeah, so I'm gonna brush out my hair, make my lunch, and then do my mukbang. I don't know how long it's gonna last, or if anybody's actually even can show up. But you know, it is what it is. It'll be fun. A little earlier than I would normally do my live streams, back when I did live streams of episode reviews of Dino Fury. But, oh, God, the golden retriever tail, it causes concussions, let me tell you. Hi, bud. There. Alright, I've had enough concussions in my life, though, so I don't need any more. Yeah, so that's the plan right now. I'm going to sit down, read, hopefully write just a little bit, and then do my live stream. And then after the live stream, I'm going to relax some more and read and write.
So upon editing this, I realized I never actually closed out the vlog. So the rest of the day, I basically just spent relaxing. I ended up actually catching a little bit of a cold or the flu. I just know it's not the other thing. That's all I know. But yeah, so I was running a nasty fever, Sunday night, which is when I think I realized I never closed out the vlog. But then I got sick. My fever set in Sunday evening, and I was in bed all day Monday, and now it's Wednesday. So yeah. But yeah, so I had a really good rest of my day. The live stream went well. I basically just spent the rest of the day relaxing. I did get some words edited. I actually did DNF the book. I did not finish it. I decided it was just too much, and I started a new one that I'm more excited about. And yeah, that's all the rest that happened. And because I do lock the puppy away while I edit, he is in his crate right now, so you can stare at him being sad in his crate for the next 20 seconds.